Well, in the 2020s, Billy Strings, Molly Tuttle, I brought a lot of attention to bluegrass music, and that's great. I was involved in bluegrass music in the 70s, kind of heard about it. I started as a rock guy in the 60s, and in the 70s, there's a lot going on, merging bluegrass, country, rock, the Byrds, Jerry Garcia did a lot of stuff to bring bluegrass to attention. The Eagles, then later on in the 70s, Sam Bush, and all the bands he was in, and Seldom Seen, J.D. Crowe, Jerry Douglas, Tony Rice, all these people were fantastic players in the 70s. Some of them are still around. Just saw Sam Bush recently. He was fantastic. So if you're a guitar player and you're just thinking about maybe getting into some bluegrass, here's some ideas, okay? The classic bluegrass riff in G. So you're starting on the low string on the G note, 3rd fret, and then the 5th string open, 1st fret, 2nd fret, then the 4th string open, and then the 4th string 2nd fret. Then you can finish that off with a G chord. I make the G chord a couple different ways, sometimes depending on what other chord I'm going to. I might use my little finger on the 1st string at the 3rd fret, because that kind of frees up your other fingers to do the riff there. So if you're used to making the G chord like this with your ring finger, you could still do the riff, but sometimes you could also consider doing your little finger on the 1st string. So there's a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs involved in bluegrass. What I just did there, I was hammering on the 4th string to the 2nd fret, and then over to the 5th string. Also, there's a lot of root and 5th kind of bass note and alternating bass patterns going on. So in the key of G, you're just going from the 6th string to the 4th string, open. A lot of that, and then a lot of also passing bass runs. So I'm starting on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and walking up to the 3rd and 4th frets on the 5th string, then the 4th string open, and I'm going to a D chord. So there. I'll try and slow it down a little bit. But one of the things I was going to use as an example of just a basic intro to bluegrass is this song Mama Don't Allow. And it's just a jam fun song. It's G, G, up to D, G. You can add the 7th. C. When I go to the C chord, I'm just rocking back and forth with my ring finger from the 5th string, which is the root note of the C chord, 3rd fret. But then I'm just reaching over with my ring finger to the 6th string at the 3rd fret, and I'm just kind of strumming the top 4 strings. So when I go over to the 6th string, the 5th string is muted or just not played. very basic picking kind of thing is another big thing in bluegrass picking is this idea of unison notes, like hammering to the open, hammering from the fretted note to the open note. Like say the G is the third string open, but the G note is also played on the fourth string at the fifth fret. It's the same pitch. It's kind of like back in the old days before there were tuners, how people used to tune their guitars like. So anyhow, the idea is, and I'm hammering from the fourth fret to the fifth fret, fourth fret to the fifth fret on the fourth string. This is kind of gives you like a banjo kind of feel, like a kind of thing, you know. So it's a thing in bluegrass, and you can do the same thing over on the fifth string to the fourth string. So you're doing that to a D note. Now you can't do it to C, but the C riff could, like the G riff that I played earlier, could be transposed over to C. Or you could also add a flat 7 on the third string, third fret. There's the flat 7, the B flat. And back to G. And D. This, it's a G major pentatonic. So these are all just little bluegrassy things, and let me just play this Mama Don't Allow song. There's kind of a lot of cliches in there, but sometimes cliches are things that just get you through. I mean, a cliche is something that you just say, like, well, I don't know, or how you doing, or nice day. And sometimes that just sort of gets you through. And sometimes in the world of music, you just need a few cliches here and there just to get you through. But, you know, to be a real player, you need to, like, elevate beyond the cliche. And that's what real hardcore bluegrass guys do. But I'm just sort of showing some very basic entry-level kind of bluegrass concepts, which also could be done on the electric guitar too and kind of sound really cool. And you know, you could do the same kind of thing. That Daniel Donato guy does a lot of that kind of stuff. He's great, and he plays electric, but he's got a lot of, you know, country bluegrassy stuff going on. So this is a thing, and I hope that maybe this helps.